Hello, beautiful people. So, I am just about to join a call with someone who is nearing the end of their journey on the 6 weeks to Inner Peace program with Emotional Health School. So, this person had the courage to commit to her emotional healing journey. And although this was about 7 weeks ago, she now has the tools to know how to navigate her emotions for life. So when she came to me, she was experiencing a lot of anxiety. She felt like she was stuck in a lot of negative feelings and had, feelings of depression. And we've just been on the most beautiful, deep, deep healing journey together. So, if you have had any of these feelings, then this video is going to be very, very insightful for you to hear her perspective and to hear how she navigated it. So I look forward to the call and for you guys to watch.
Okay, hi, I'm Lori, and I am from the western part of Michigan, which is in the United States.
Mhm.
So I'm very close to Lake Michigan, actually very close to Lake Michigan, but I have not been there all summer.
Mm,
So, yeah, I like it here.
mm.
It's really the only place I've ever known. So,
Amazing. Cool, thank
yeah.
you. So if you could like cast your mind back to when we had our first conversation and when before we even started working together, I didn't know if you would maybe be able to describe a little bit about what sort of place you were in and how you were feeling.
I was in a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
I spent every weekend on the couch
Mm-hmm.
and I isolated a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
felt very depressed,
Mm-hmm.
very lost. I think I described how I was feeling to you as numb.
Mm-hmm.
And I was overwhelmed, I was stressed out, and I was isolating from everyone, my friends, family, everyone, just trying to survive, basically. That's where I was at that time. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to remember now because I'm doing so much better, but that's where I was at the time.
Mm, okay. And were you feeling any sort of feelings of anxiety as well? I think maybe we discussed that a bit.
Yes, I did. And I left that out. Yes, anxiety was huge.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, that's probably one of the biggest things. So thank you for bringing that up. I um, was very anxiety ridden and I didn't know how to get past it.
Mhm.
And I just felt stuck
Mhm.
with that and the negative thinking that went with it and all that. I just kind of did a tailspin and kind of like went into myself and didn't let anyone in
Mhm.
until you. So
So
really, that's true.
yeah. And what like I know you've mentioned sort of isolation with the anxiety and the depression and all those sort of things. What were your like, did you have any physical symptoms or anything like that?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I had my heart would race and I would feel very anxious whenever I tried to go out or do anything with anyone. So I canceled a lot of plans for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would break out in a sweat easily. Um, Hold on, I did write down a couple of things because it's been a while now and I have sort of forgotten, but the the symptoms I was having is like I had no self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this was a biggie. I had a lot of stomach issues as well as intestinal issues from holding all the stress in
Mm-hmm.
and all of the feelings in and not letting them out and not letting go of them. So therefore, I was really suffering, which again was a lot of the reason that I would cancel plans because
Yeah.
I never knew when that was going to hit me. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I was definitely having physical symptoms
Mm-hmm.
from holding in all these feelings that I didn't know what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
So that was big. That was
Yeah.
huge.
I love that you said that, it feels so long ago that you've almost forgotten, and it's only been 7 weeks. And like,
I know, isn't that amazing?
yeah.
It's amazing to me how far I feel like I've grown and how far I've come
Mm,
with your guidance, with the program and all of it, that I literally had to write it down because I was trying to remember
mm,
what I used to feel like. And now those feelings are like I've let a lot of them go. And when I let them go, they're really gone because obviously I had to think about it.
yeah.
So yeah, it's that's a great sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really is.
Okay, cool. And so we've obviously determined that you were in a place that was really, really challenging for you. It was resulting in like isolation, physical issues.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Seeing doctors, trying to figure out what was wrong.
Yeah.
Couldn't find anything, of course, because it was all emotional issues and it was symptoms from holding all that in and not knowing how or what to do about, relieving those symptoms.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I basically stayed away from all friends, family, anybody who could help me, but yet on the other hand, I had already asked and talked to people, friends mostly,
Mm,
a lot of different counselors. No one really had any answers for me. I mean,
mm,
we could talk about it, but it didn't seem to really make a lot of difference. Or if it did, it was short term
mm,
and short lived, and then I would be back looking again. So,
mm. Okay.
yeah,
Cool. So I guess we're fasting forward to today. We've got a clear picture as to where you were. What would you say you've learned sort of along the way? And yeah, and how does that feel, I guess?
it feels great. um, I have learned um, how to let go of feelings, which has been a question I've had my entire life.
Mm,
I have had people say, just let it go, just let it go.
mm,
And my response was always the same. If you can explain to me how to let it go, I
mhm,
would be happy to do that because that's what I want. I want to be able to let it go, but I
mm,
don't know how. And therefore, this course and you have taught me how literally the question of my life, how to let it go. I
mm,
feel the feelings. If I'm willing, if I'm able, and if I'm ready, I can let it go. And
mm,
I am so grateful for that. It's been so life-changing for me to be able to let those things go that have bothered me obviously since I was very, very little and didn't know where it came from or why I was this way or so anxious. And, obviously I'm not complete yet, completed with the course yet, and I'm still learning a lot,
mhm,
but I have learned so much more in these few weeks than I did my whole lifetime of trying different counselors or asking other people questions. It's
mm,
amazing to me.
mm,
It's a course that I wish everyone had the benefit of taking. Honestly,
mhm.
I really am. I am so excited about it.
Yeah,
It's made
amazing.
a huge difference already.
And what would you say like that's given you? So what point are you at now? I guess in two senses, like one in terms of how you're feeling, but then also on the other hand, sort of like what has those feelings enabled you to do that maybe you weren't able to do before?
I have the feeling of freedom right now,
Hmm.
of not being controlled by what I might be feeling or what other people might be thinking.
Hmm.
So I believe that through this course and with your guidance, I've learned in the challenges too, which I really like. Um, I've learned to trust myself more because I know that if I do have a feeling come up, I have the tools to let it go.
Mhm.
And once I do that, I can go right back to where I was. I don't feel like I'm controlled by them any longer. So
Mhm.
therefore, I feel like I have the freedom to be who I really am, my authentic self. I can be myself. I can have the feelings knowing that they're normal feelings, that everyone has them, let them go, keep going.
Mhm.
And what is my whole point here? Is that I don't feel tied down to maybe reacting in a way that I'm embarrassed about
Mhm.
or regret later
Mhm.
because I may act out because I'm feeling this or that.
Mhm.
And uh, it's just amazing to me how much freedom that gives.
Yeah.
So the way I'm feeling now is free. I feel happier. I
Mhm.
feel free. I feel what are other feelings I'm having? Grateful.
Mhm.
I'm even grateful for disappointments at this point because then I'm learning more
Yeah.
from those. I may not be grateful right while they're happening,
Yeah.
but as they're happening, I think now I'm starting to think, okay, what am I learning from this? Rather than, oh, here we go again, I give up, life is bad, I'm gonna just go into my overthinking and my negative thinking and woe is me and isolate. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm actually reaching out to people and asking how they are. And
Mhm.
so it's improving friendships and it's wonderful.
I can tell by the smile on my face how much I've enjoyed the journey together. I guess my next question is, what, for someone who's not done the program, what would you say are the main things that we've done together to help you go from that place of anxiety and depression to freedom? Like what does that journey look like? What have we done?
It took some work, I believe, and I think with this program, you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
So if you do it daily and you really study it and you really, I mean, it's not like a huge burden or anything.
Mm.
It's reading, it's understanding, and you've always been there to answer any questions I've had, which I am grateful for.
Mm.
There were a couple times I was stuck on something and I didn't understand it, and you were available to
Mm.
me to ask, and you always had the answer, and you helped me through those couple of times when I was just kind of lost, like why did this happen, or
Mm.
and you explained it to me in a way that I understood.
Mm.
So I would think that I'm not sure if I'm answering exactly what you asked at this point, but I think I kind of got off on a tangent. But
Yeah.
I um I feel like the program has gotten me to where I am because it's clear.
Mhm.
It explained things well. It gave challenges to try, which I found very helpful.
Mhm.
But mostly I have to say it's the subconscious healing sessions that really made a major impact on me
Mm.
and how I felt, especially the last one that we had was huge
Mhm.
and answered a lot of questions for me.
Mm.
And now I know that when I would hear from other counselors, the answers within you, I would walk away so confused. Like, what do you mean? I don't understand. And if
Mm.
I knew the answers, why would I be asking you? And now I understand. I mean, it is so very clear to me. All of the answers are within me
Mm.
after those sessions
Mm.
and answered so many questions. And it was so clear to me why I'm struggling with these issues and where it started. And
Mm.
now I can trust myself again.
Mm.
because I know where it came from. I understand it,
Yeah.
and very helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, the answers are in within my body, and the body doesn't forget, apparently.
Yeah.
It remembers everything.
Yeah.
And I've also heard that term and didn't understand it, but now I do. So
Right.
I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. So it sounds like it was sort of like the support and having that available to you whenever you needed it.
Yes, definitely.
It was the structure of, say, having a course and knowing what you need to do daily
Right. And take it at my own pace.
and take it at your own pace.
Very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. And also the subconscious healing, because you could actually get to the root cause of where some of these feelings were coming from.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
And what made you sort of reach out to me for my approach? Like you said, you've tried lots of different counselors, you tried lots of different things. What was it about me that made you want to do
It's it's funny because I I went to my doctor.
it?
I knew I was depressed. I mean,
Mm,
obviously, laying on the couch all weekend, every weekend is not normal.
no.
Um, so and neglecting self-care, it's not normal. So I knew I was depressed.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I knew at that point.
Mm,
And so I went to my doctor and I asked for antidepressants.
mm,
Been on them before, right? No big surprise. She said I would rather that you go to counseling first. I was rather disappointed, but understood,
mm-hmm.
looked for a counselor, found one, was very disappointed. Then I thought about all the different times I've been to counseling and how it just hasn't helped. And I felt hopeless. So I decided to go on to Instagram and I created an account and I didn't, I really didn't want my whole family and everyone to know what I was searching about. So I created a name and just started doing research. And
Mm-hmm.
I came across, I would say by accident, but I don't think it was any accident at all. I came across emotional health school. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, I wonder what this is. And
Mm,
so I checked it out and I started reading your posts. And then I started clicking like on a lot of them. And I also just continued reading. And then if you posted any stories, I would always look at those.
mm,
And I was very interested in what you had because I could see it in you. And I know that you live what you teach.
mm,
And I know that you love what you do because
mm.
it's very obvious in the way you do it that you are very happy with what you're doing and you're good at it too, by the way. So, anyway, after talking to you one on one, because that, transitioned into a conversation between us.
Mm,
And once I talked to you one on one,
mm,
I knew it was exactly what I needed,
mhm,
that it was way beyond the talk therapy where I tell you this and this happened, and you
mhm,
say, well, try these things and read this book, and we'll see what happens, at our next appointment. With counseling, there's no time where you can reach out to them in between. You wait till your next appointment,
yeah,
because that's the way it works. So
yeah.
I decided after speaking with you and you answered all my questions that I knew that's what I needed.
Mm,
Um, just because you explained the program,
mm,
not in total detail, but in general, what it does and what it helps and how it helps. And I was all in.
mm, yeah.
So that's how that came to be. That's how I decided that someone else had also reached out to me um, at that same time or right after I spoke with you
Mm,
and said, would you be interested in talking about, my learning approach of, or how I can help you? And I said, well, I've already made a decision, so I'm going to stick with that. I was that sure
Mm,
of what, after talking to you of what I needed.
mm,
So I said, if this doesn't work out for some reason, I'll contact you. And they respected that, which I appreciated, and they did
yeah,
not ask me again.
yeah,
But it's worked out so well.
yeah,
Maybe they knew that there was
yeah,
no reason it wouldn't. So
yeah,
I'm very happy that I was able to talk to you first, or someone else may have gotten hold of me, but no, I am on the right path, and I believe 100% this was the way it was supposed to work, and this is
mm.
exactly what I was looking for.
The
So
universe doesn't make mistakes.
no, it does not.
No.
It does not.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I
Amazing.
do believe I was led to find you on Instagram. I mean, I don't know what possessed me to even do it.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'm just gonna go on here and call it my healing journey and see what I can find out and search. And that was my point. I was still going to look for a counselor. I hadn't found anyone yet,
Hmm.
but when I found you, I was amazed.
Mm.
I
Thank you.
just yeah, oh, I have a lot more to say about that.
No. Don't, I can't cope. You're very kind. Thank you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate you. I
Mm.
really, really do.
Mm. I guess one something I am wondering is there, so you said you follow your intuition and it was like a whole body yes, like you knew. Was there any part of you, like anything that might have prevented you from signing up that you had to sort of like get over that mindset in your head, like any fear or anything like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I did have a couple of things.
Yeah.
The first thought I had while we were talking the
Mm,
first time was fear of failure.
mm,
I felt that, okay, this is a great program, but what if I fail? What if I can't do it?
yeah.
And I had that feeling a few times right at the very beginning when
Mm,
I would read something and I didn't quite understand what does this mean, because
mm,
it was so foreign to me
yeah.
at the time, because I wasn't used to that kind of lifestyle or that kind of way of living, a healthier
Mm,
lifestyle where
mm,
I can actually live my authentic self and love other people and learn to forgive myself and others. And I was not, even though, I wasn't raised in a Christian home,
mhm,
I started to attend a couple of different churches and found one that I loved. And I also learned how to forgive and all of this, but yet
mm.
this program went way beyond what I learned at church. That was okay to say. But it's true. I mean, maybe it was my age, maybe it's not, I don't know. But this
Mm,
program really taught me, I think by experience, what forgiveness was all about and self-love.
mm,
And so, but the other thing that could have possibly held me back was finances. I mean, I'm not, someone who has a ton of money,
mhm.
and I thought my HSA would pay. I don't know if you remember me running
Yeah.
around trying to figure out
Yeah.
why it wasn't going through, and
Yeah.
come to find out well, I'm in the US and you're in Scotland, and it's like it wasn't going to go through. It never would. So I had to make the decision, okay, now am I going to pay this out of pocket? And immediately thought, yes, of course I am. I need this. And
Mm,
I don't regret it to this day. I am so grateful that that was the decision I made, because I
mm,
would have missed out on all of this. And honestly, whatever I would have spent that money on would have been nowhere near as valuable as the lessons I've learned through this program, through you, your guidance, and also the subconscious sessions that we've had. It
mm.
would, I mean, I don't care what it would have been that I could have purchased. for
Mm.
that money that would have been as beneficial to me. Nothing.
Yeah.
So that those were the things that would have held me back, but
Hmm.
I decided to go against the fear part because I've always had that.
Mm.
And then the financial part I've been able to work through and it's been okay.
Okay. So it
So,
was a case of like not letting the fear make the decision for you,
right.
by the sounds of it. And then also truly seeing the value of investing in yourself.
Yes. Which I have not done in a long time.
Mm.
And I kept weighing it because my insurance through my work would pay for a counselor. I
Mm.
honestly would not have to pay anything out of pocket.
Hmm.
So I kept weighing that, but not for very long.
Yeah.
Because all of my experiences in the past have not, even when I had been to a counselor for quite a while, and she said, well, there's nothing more I can teach you. And I thought, well, okay. I walked out of there feeling like, but I don't feel like I have really gained that much. I've
Mm.
talked a lot. I talked about all my issues and, okay, what are your problems? What happened this week? And I would tell her and we'd talk through them, but
Mm.
it didn't stay with me. Like this is staying with me.
Yeah.
And that's what I was looking for.
Yeah. The actionable tools, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
I can go back and if in the future, I feel like one huge plus with this as well
Mm.
as it's staying with me for so long, uh, is that if I do stumble at some point, I can go back and I can look at what I've learned and I've taken notes. It's all over the place. So in my home,
Yeah.
because I don't want to forget this. I mean, I need to live this way. This is so much healthier than
Hmm.
where I was just a
Yeah.
few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
Amazing. Cool. And I guess just my final question to you is, what would you honestly say to someone who's thinking about joining this program?
I actually had that opportunity. Um,
Mm.
and I did explain kind of what it was about, and this person was very interested. And what I told her was, this program is exactly what I needed. I mean, I can't speak for them, but I can give my testimony as to how it's helped me.
Hmm.
And I honestly think she could see it and hear it in my voice.
Mm.
But I also I told her that it's a program where you literally take it at your own pace,
Hmm.
but it's structured and there's a program that you read through. It explains about feelings, it explains there's a chart of feelings and how to let go of those feelings, not to ignore them,
Hmm.
but to literally feel them and be able to let them go.
Hmm.
And that there are also subconscious healing sessions, one on one with a coach who I adore. And
Oh.
I told her all the great things, and I need to add this here because of your calming, nurturing, and there's another word, but I can't even think of it at this point. But the way that you approach it is so calming
Mm.
to me that it allowed me to relax completely
Mm.
and really open up. And if I couldn't have done that, I don't think it would have worked
Mm.
because I'm still working on letting go of a lot of the anxiety. It's so deeply ingrained from so long ago that I do feel it creep in or try to creep in every once in a while. And so then I do my exercise to
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah.
And I will continue that.
Mm.
And at some point I'm hoping that that will like completely, dissipate, but much of it has.
Mm.
And I have to say it was definitely that last session that really, really made the huge difference.
Mm,
And um, but I appreciate your ability. I know you love what you do. I can tell. It shows you're
mm,
very good. You know the program inside and out. So when I've come to you with questions in a panic, this happened right after what did I do wrong? And you knew exactly what it was happening
mm.
and why. And it was lessons, they were lessons I needed to still learn because I am still learning.
Yeah.
Uh, I've learned a ton,
Mm,
but there's still a lot more to learn, and I'm excited about that.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm currently working on desire, which I had no idea how much that affected me, and I think I told you that, but wow, when I read through that section on desire, it floored me, honestly.
Yeah.
Had no idea how much that was interfering with my other emotions,
Yeah. Yeah.
and how much that played into this not working out or that not working out. It was my expectations of my desire of how I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
And even though I had forgiven in, the situation I'm talking about, I had forgiven
Mhm.
everything, went with a full heart, knowing full well everything was great, expecting other people to feel the same way. That
Mm,
was unrealistic, when I look back, but
mm,
I didn't understand that at the time.
mm.
And then I do remember you mentioning desire, but then when I actually read about it, it all fell together. And I thought, wow, she knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been wonderful. And I would highly recommend this program to
Mm,
anyone who
mm,
needs help with regulating emotions, letting go, not stuffing them, not
mm.
pretending they're not there or running from them. And I've done all of those things. So
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It's beautiful. And I guess just my final thing is, although you say you're still working through it and you've still got a lot to learn, would you say that you now feel equipped to do that after our time together?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. I feel that I've had things come up
Hmm.
where it's not necessarily anything we've worked on yet or that I've read through yet,
Mm,
but I still use the same technique
hmm.
for those things, and it seems to be working. Um, Again, it's been a short time,
Yeah.
but it's working, and I haven't even gone through all of it yet. So,
Yeah.
I know there's still more to learn, and I'm excited about that. And
Hmm.
and when I get to the point where I'm above that red line, where I'm in a healthier zone,
Yeah.
I just can't even imagine what life could be like then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but watching your videos and your posts on Instagram are very, very, what's the right word? I struggle with words sometimes, but it was very inspiring,
Mm,
to see those and to see you living what you're teaching is huge too.
mm,
Really, really is. And you're so genuine that when you do have something happen, and this is explained in the program that, you don't hold back the crying, that it's okay.
yeah.
And it is okay.
Yeah.
And I'm a crier
Yeah.
from way
Yeah.
back, and that was never accepted very well in my family, but I am a crier, and so uh, I've always been insulted for that. And
Mm,
I am so happy and feel so relieved that it is literally good for us to let those tears out
yeah.
and to feel those emotions and that it's healthy.
Mm,
So I knew from a small child that that was healthy or that's what I needed to do, but I was told it wasn't okay.
yeah.
So I eventually learned to stuff it or hide it, or cry where no one where no one could watch me or
Mm.
see it, which is, probably a lot of people's story, but
Mm. Hence the name
I'm
Emotional Health School, so we can teach people what they were never taught by their parents or school, how to
right,
navigate
exactly.
their emotions. Yeah.
Exactly. And they teach the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
Don't cry, I'll give you something to cry about. Well,
Mm.
that doesn't really give you the tools that we need to exist in life.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Laurie. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add? Or
No, that I think that pretty much covered. I wrote a couple things down. Um, I do want to say one more thing, and that is, I appreciate how many times you reached out to me.
mm,
If you hadn't heard from me in a few days, you reached out and you asked, just checked in. How are things going? Are you doing okay? And I I really appreciated that. I felt it made me feel worthy. It made me feel like I mattered.
mm,
And that was huge for me as well. So I
mm,
wanted to thank you for that.
mm. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so
It
much.
has for me as well.
Yeah, beautiful. So I'm just going to sign off the call now, but I'll still be here. So just give me a moment. But yeah, thank you so much. And what a beautiful
Yeah.
conversation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Stop.